Locked in.
Captain, do you require my assistance?
I saw one of the ensigns get an Alpha Centauri from Officer Petrosian the other day. Man takes his job seriously.
Petrosian's a real neat freak. As our superior officer, that makes us all neat freaks.
As a former convict, you've seen the inside of a city. Stay out of mine and we'll get along just fine. Welcome to the brig. As a member of SysDef, you may talk with the prisoners as long as you are mindful of operation security. As a personal rule, I simply ask that you adhere to UC Navy standards of cleanliness at all times. That means no mud on your boots, your hands are washed, and you are free of any contagious diseases. Besides the fact that it's healthier, a sanitary brig is important for station security. In my experience, a prisoner will hide a shiv under a flake of dust if you let them. The cleaner a space is, the easier it is to spot irregularities, both inside the cell and out. Excellent. And all that being said, I understand your mission directive might call for flexibility on my part. So if you need to be a rum-drinking, swashbuckling pirate to do your job, then I will do my best to clean up after you.
Nice.
He's a good man, singularly focused when it comes to the fleet. But that's not to say he doesn't care about his crew. I can tell you a story as an example if you'd like to hear it. So, I'm a bit of a workaholic, and I forget to take breaks. One day, Commander Ikande passes by the brig and sees me at my desk. He takes one look at my haggard face and says, "Officer, I'm headed to the mess hall. If you're not with me in 15 minutes, your services will no longer be required on my ship." I tried to protest, but he was dead serious. So I went. We had lunch, talked about old times, and I went back to the brig, refreshed and ready to work. It's little things like that. You can see he pays attention, and that he cares about the people, not just the work. As a matter of fact, I have a favor to ask.
Of course.
I understand that part of your undercover work involves going to the fleet headquarters, namely, the key. While you're there, if you find anything pertaining to the history of the fleet, I'd be interested in learning about it. I agree. Just keep in mind this is a favor and you're free to ignore it. I only ask because this is such a rare opportunity and I'd hate to pass it up. I appreciate it. I've actually heard rumors about there being audio logs for an interview the founder of the fleet, Jasper Crix, did on the key. I'm interested in anything he had to say regarding his time in prison and how the prisoners were treated. If you find anything like that, bring it back here, and we'll take a listen. The fleet and the UC are intertwined, and I've always felt knowing that past as an important part of what we do. In life, history can be a guide, a warning, or at times, a reflection. And if you want to know which one it is, you have to stare it in the face, regardless of how ugly it is. The cells you see here are for captured pirates and prisoners of war. If you apprehend any pirates during the course of your missions, they'll be detained here. No, the prisoners surrendered willingly, as per the terms of your deal. This is probably the safest place for him, if the fleet want him dead. You can chat with him, if you haven't already. I'm sure he has a lot to say.
Probably pissed.
That's a loaded question. We err on the side of caution here, short of any physical abuse. But with the Crimson Fleet, you have to be very careful. If you give them an inch, they'll take a parsec and find a way to stab you with it. Verbally, yes. There's a lot of bad blood with the fleet, stretching across generations, myself included. Sometimes that blood spills over. As long as there's no actual fighting, I tend to let both sides dish it out. That's the idea. We will always err on the side of security, given the choice. But I'll be the first to admit it's not an exact science, and we've made mistakes in the past with both the carrot and the stick. As chief officer of this brig, my worst fear is that we'll someday repeat them. We have multiple turrets attached to the ceiling. If you've met Ensign Betty, she's personally calibrated them to ensure they cover the entire area. That being said, firing the turrets should be considered a last resort. As you were. We'll keep the brig ready for any pirates you bring in. Until next time.
I guess you think I have some sad story to tell? That I met some sick orphans on New Homestead and grew a conscience? Or maybe you're the cynical type, and you think I turned a new leaf because I wanted SysDef to go easy on me. The truth is a bit more complicated than that. Sure, I got time. You see, at my age, you know who you are. And I've always been a thief. I'd swipe a cred stick for my own mother if it had enough zeros on it.
Jesus.
But even in a group of cred-hungry thieves, a man has to have a code. Rules. I do. You finish a job, it's supposed to be done. You get the rush and the relief. But in the fleet, doing the job isn't the hard part. In the fleet, you gotta worry about the guy sleeping next to you, and if he's gonna take a bigger piece of the pie. You gotta wake up the next morning and wonder why your slice is missing and the crumbs are stuck to his face. And put a bigger target on my back? As far as I'm concerned, the brig is the safest place I can be. The second you drag me into some private room, you're basically telling everyone here that I'm a rat. Well, for one, they don't have much in the way of loot, but they're still important to somebody. You can't just blow up one without it showing up on SSNN, or UC Captain getting a 10-inch stack of slates on his desk. But more importantly, do-gooders are predictable. The pirate code changes depending on who's reciting it.
The pirate
Honest folks,
code.
they have a habit of writing their rules down. Why did I join the Regana? Truth is, I just wanted a good night's sleep. Yeah, I've had some work done. If you got the Crimson Fleet on your back, you would too. As for the name, that was
Okay.
actually the hard part. You can use 100 different aliases and the system will just add them to the list. Now you can pay a guy to delete the list, but nothing's ever really gone forever. Neva probably paid the same guy to hit rewind, and here we are.
Alright, cool, dude. Whatever you say, brother. I'm gonna be on my way.
Sys-Def Marines are the best of the best. I bet operations on the Key are a clown show. I'm looking forward to reading your report.
I got a question for you. How many pirates does it take to screw a light bulb?
No idea. 100?
One. It only takes one.
Hello, Wakande.
What can I do for you? Nice work. Let me take a look. It's amazing that all this romantic nonsense about Crix's legacy really just amounts to a rumor Jasper Crix picked up in jail. It just goes to show you how a tiny rumor can snowball into a full-blown fairy tale. Anything else? Yeah, you're right. But there's no way this was a solo job. Shifting all those parts takes serious manpower. I'll send this to Mast so they can shake the tree a bit, see what falls out. Looks like Durand better start looking for parts somewhere else. Have any more? So Voss engineered a way to directly interface with the keys.
I'm just ratting on everybody right
I
now.
knew
It's
he was a mad
crazy.
genius, but didn't realize he was so tech savvy. Well, we'll share this information with Galbank.
I feel like the
Hopefully
biggest
it'll help them
fucking
shore up the security on the
narc right now.
cryptocurrency.
God damn.
That it?
Have some more information.
So, Mr. Yasso is actually Lionel Soto. We thought Soto was dead. At least, that's what the records told us. I'll have the records updated, but seeing as Mr. Yasso has surrounded himself with the Crimson Fleet, there isn't much we can do. Yet. Any other fragments? Understood. Keep searching and you're bound to find more. You're not gonna let this go, are you? Why do you care so much about my past?
As you said you didn't want to talk about it.
You're right. I did. I suppose I'm hesitating because I'm not sure you'll like what I have to say. Would it shock you to learn that I spent some time in prison? I suppose that makes me a hypocrite. Oh, come on. I have haven't exactly been cordial about my feelings towards the Crimson Fleet's illegal activities.
Oh.
Oh, does it now? Was I giving off some kind of ex-con sort of vibe? Well,
Takes one to
give me
know
a chance to
one.
explain. I grew up in the Well in New Atlantis. Parents made
Oh, down in the
enough money to
down
keep
in
the
the
lights
poop
on in our
hole.
apartment.
And a lot of time down
After
there.
I dropped out of school, they begged for me to look for work. But I realized it was a lot easier to simply take whatever I wanted instead. The year after that, I'm a career criminal with UC security breathing down my neck, and my parents kicking me out of the house. Hell no. I made enough money to buy my own apartment. Filled it with some decent stuff, too. I'd even send pictures of the place to my folks to rub it in. I was a real asshole. Well, I wasn't a nice person. That's just it, though. I was having the time of my life, earning way more than I needed to simply get by and loving every minute of it. Back then, if you would have told me one day I'd be wearing this uniform, I'd have said you were out of your mind. Thanks. I'm quite proud of where I've ended up. Let's just say the years after my time in the Well were filled with highs and lows. Look, the point is that I felt you deserved to know a bit about my past, to know where my anger towards the fleet comes from. Yeah, I think I've told you more than enough. Besides, my job here is to keep an eye on you, not the other way around. You're welcome. Well, I think you've had enough for now. You get the point. Let's get back to it before Keyboy writes us a citation for loitering. They're pirates in every sense of the word, but they've managed to get more organized under their current leadership. That makes them especially dangerous, but hopefully it makes them a little more predictable, too. We'll provide you with information, but any inventory or ship services, it's best you get from the fleet. It'll help you maintain your cover and also give you an idea of how the fleet's operation works. I'll be here if you have any more questions.
All the stuff I need to give you. Keyboy akan deh.
Yo, back. So how did it go?
Lumatambo.
Frankly, it's because we've never gotten this far before.
What?
The last agent I sent to infiltrate the Crimson Fleet ended up in a morgue on New Atlantis. Even with our best intelligence equipment, we can monitor very little from the Vigilance. We can pick up local communications chatter and use long-range scans to see where you travel. But when you're on the ground, you're on your own. If we get too close, we not only expose ourselves to an attack, but we might blow your cover, and that could get everyone killed. Then things are moving forward. Perfect.
Nice job, Brooke.
I was certain we'd fool Delgado, but never. She's a sharp one. Overcoming her scrutiny is no small matter. Did you discover anything worth reporting yet? If the intelligence I've read is accurate, Delgado is a charismatic leader, but a bit short on judgment. That's why
kind of a
you want to
dipshit.
stay on his good side and stay away from Neva. She's shrewd, and she's sniffed out everything we've thrown her way. Legacy. Why does that sound familiar? Wait a moment. Are you telling me Delgado may have actually located Crix's legacy?
I have
No,
never
I
heard
did.
of such a thing.
I'm surprised. I thought this was one of those tales that made it to every corner of the settled systems.
I suppose it's possible, sir. Intelligence picked up a bit of chatter on that subject recently. We assumed it was some sort of tall tale or a story to attract recruits to their cause. Well, let's find out if Delgado's chasing ghosts, or he's smarter than we suspect. Let me see what we have here. Nope. There are no records of a Gal Bank transport named the Legacy in the database. I think Delgado's trying to manipulate you. What do you think, sir?
I think there's no record because Gal Bank is hiding something. Delgado's no fool. If he risked his own neck to get that information, then he must be on to something.
Must be.
We have to take this seriously. What's your next move? That one's simple. We monitored your ships heading down to the surface of Suvorov. In fact, when he returned to the key and you didn't immediately follow, well, we almost thought our operation was terminated. Can you imagine the amount of embarrassment Galbank would have to endure if they listed a lost transport in the ship registry? Doesn't matter if that ship went down 5 or 500 years ago. If news gets out that a bank has misplaced money, it would tank their value. Clever, Delgado. Very clever. If I were in your place, I'd be trying to do the exact same thing. We can't let Delgado get his hands on what could potentially turn out to be the largest haul of credits the Crimson Fleet's ever seen.
Maybe I should head out to New Atlantis, sir. I could press the Galbank execs for information. Get ahead of everything.
No. Let's allow this to run its course. We have our agent here feeding us information. I think that's good enough for now. There's more to this than just finding the location of the transport. Jasper Crix was clever. For some reason, he never got there. Because the Crimson Fleet would be a totally different adversary, and Crix wouldn't have disappeared years ago. Even if they hid the money with that damn human computer Shinya Voss, our forensic accounting people would have found that data. No, the Crimson Fleet are in dire shape right now. They haven't seen that much currency, well, ever. And let Neva Mora take his place, or Shinya Voss, or any one of a number of pirates already gunning for his position.
Alright.
No. The solution is to stick to the undercover operation and determine how much of this is truly a credible threat. It's imperative that you do. If the Crimson Fleet gets its hands on a transport full of currency, it would be disastrous for the settled systems. I need you to do whatever you can to bring us more information. And for God's sake, don't kill anyone on that Starliner. You're both dismissed.
Yes.
You gave me. You would?
Yes? You do not need to ask me if you may ask. You may just ask. All right then. Is that it then?
Word is the fleet has you chasing
Yes,
ghosts on Suvorov.
that is all in the radio. We do not need anything else right now. Thank you very much.
Sometimes we'll take the long-range fighters out for grav jump and patrol high traffic.
Hello.
Nobody else here I can talk to, I guess.
Sir, if I may speak freely, is there a reason for the harsh reprimand? As far as I know, I just tracked a little mud into the brig.
Soldier, have you ever heard of trenchfoot? Some of the guards don't take kindly to the prisoners, but we should try to maintain some decorum. Really? I know you were headed to the key, but I didn't realize you'd actually get a chance to visit the lock. I
Loch Ness
almost
Monster.
respect the fleet for doing that. They're trying to pass down their history, or their version of it anyway. I respect the principle of teaching one's history. It makes me think Delgado wants the fleet to be more than just space pirates. When you connect the past with the future, you're trying to create a culture, a through line between you and Jasper Cricks. Incredible. I think at SysDef, we all feel that weight every time we wear the uniform. But to be there where it started, I can't imagine. But all that aside, give me your honest opinion. What were the conditions like?
They were shit, dude.
I can understand that. Sometimes I feel those ghosts come to haunt me in my sleep.
Oh.
Truth be told,
Okay.
my ancestor was a guard on Suvorov.
Of course, that's why you had me down there.
His death was to find out more about his experience.
Knew it.
And whether the history books told the whole story. Which is why I'd like to hear Crix's side of it. If just to confirm what you saw.
Can't
Keep
say
the
that I
floors
have,
and your
sir.
nose clean. Well, they say guards on Suvorov would sometimes trudge through cold.
Always a satisfying moment to return to your ship.